Hi guys, very good evening to you. Welcome back, and this time we're going to learn about the user forms. Not exactly the user forms, but how to use a collection loop, a beautiful loop in user forms. And so before I actually go to the what exactly we are going to do today, I want to read out the question which comes from Mr. D'Souza, and he says that this is what he has written me long time back, I think a month back. I'm so sorry I didn't get the time, I was preoccupied with a lot of things. So today I'm I have read your question but unfortunately could not reply you, but today definitely we are going to work on this question, and we are going to share this information with you, and of course with everybody who is a part of this channel. And also, if you're watching my channel for the first time, then please go through all the 175 videos. They are on Excel and the VBA, and I also run my website. You can check this website also, excelvbalover.com, and here we have the Excel training content, Excel videos, VBA training content, and video tutorials. If you're looking for the online training, let me know about it. You can contact me through this, and we can definitely, because I also provide the one-on-one trainings. But yes, you can go there and you can watch all the 175 videos which are available on my YouTube channel, and as well as they are available on my website also. So these are all the videos. Try to watch them on the YouTube, and do subscribe to my channel if you think that this really helps you a lot, right? All right, so this is what actually Mr. D'Souza has written. I'm not gonna waste your time now. Let's just quickly read out the question, and then let's try to give the solution. Okay, so he says, this is actually one of my video which I loaded on my channel. I think last month there was a subscriber who wanted me to write how to export the ListBox content. Once you have the ListBox items, how you can actually export. Let me show you. Let me quickly go to this Excel. So this is what we actually have done in that video 174 or 175. You can read out the subject. It says that export ListBox items. So there we actually learned how, if you have this ListBox, then how you can export these items like literature, English, arts and science and poems, right? So I think after watching this video, Mr. D'Souza, what he actually is saying, he's saying that thank you for this video on a totally unrelated topic. Could you let me know if it is possible to transfer values from a multiple column list box in a user form to a sheet on Excel? The catch is that I have 3 such list boxes of which have multiple columns, and all these have multiple select options. Instead of appearing as rows below one another, I would want them to be transferred into cells in the same row but different columns. How can I loop in all the controls so that after the multiple selections of a list box from one list box is done, the selection from the list box 2 recognizes the next empty cell in the same row and pastes the values? So I know it's a little difficult to understand, but I have done a lot of research. I have read this question many times. So let me quickly tell you what exactly he's looking forward to, right? And if you know Excel VBA very well, then I think you got the question. But for all of you who just know the basics, or maybe who just do not know even the basics of the VBA, this is what exactly we are going to do. Now look at this. I'm going to click here, and this is the user form which comes. Now here I have 2 list boxes. He's talked about the 3 list boxes, but that's fine. Now these are called the list boxes. If you don't know, right, these are the controls of these are the controls which you can actually design in your VBA, in your user form. And this is called the button, which if I click here, now what actually he wants to do is he wants to get these values exported to a different sheet: literature, English, art, science, poems. And if you have let's say we have one more list box here which has item called 2001, 2003, 2004 and so on, then this also should get exported. In my previous video I only talked about the particular one list box, but here we have 2, and maybe as he said that he has 3 list boxes. So we are going to prepare this code in such a way that even if you have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 list boxes, they will work, right? So I'm going to click here and look at this. All the item is exported here one by one in the different columns, right? If you watch the previous video, then you would see that there it's going like in this direction. Let me copy this. Alt ES is the shortcut key to change the direction. Transpose, if you don't know this option, then that's an additional benefit for you. It's you can take this as a free gift from me, right? This is to change the direction. If you have a data horizontally and you want it in the vertical direction, you can simply copy and use the Alt ES, right? Alt ES space special is the option. I'm sure you must be knowing this is a very common, I mean everybody knows actually these days these options, and this is to change the direction basically. So in that video I exported the items like this. Now he is saying that the items, you know, should, items means the list box item, they should get aligned next to each other, okay, horizontally, and then of course the next item. I hope I understood your question correct, and I'm going to make the code, you know, accordingly. So first thing, let me tell you a little bit about the user forms. Now I'm not going to design this. You see, I have already designed this. Let's not just go and, you know, redo this all. I don't want to make this video so long unnecessarily. If you are not sure about the user forms, you can go to my website or YouTube, on the YouTube channel also search for some videos on the user form. You will come to know how we design the things, right? But this is the video, and from here we are going to design this click button. So whenever he clicks, what exactly we want to do. Now you see, in the user form you have a lot of things, you have a lot of controls. For example, you have a list box, you have an option box, okay, then you have a toggle button is also there, then you have a command buttons like this. If I click here, that's the button. You click this and this will do some action, okay. So there are a lot of things like there's a combo box, one of my favorite control box. So we call them actually controls, right? So now what we want is, you see, now I have prepared 2 list boxes. Who knows, in your case you may have 3 list boxes, you may have 5 list boxes, right? So we are going to make this code in such a way that automatically your list box, when you're going to run this code, they should automatically be picked up by VBA. You don't have to specify them, right? So let's go to the Visual Basic environment, and this is what I have done. This is your form which we have prepared, and if you don't know anything, let me just take you to this view and the toolbox, and there you see this is called the label control. You can see all of the controls which you can design in the VBA in the form of user forms. You can see here, this is called the text box, this is called the combo box, this is called the list box which we have created, right? These 2 list boxes I have created, right? And I can show you. Let me go to the first, let's just close this. I have selected this and I go to the properties to tell you how exactly, you know, what is the name of this. This is called the list box 1. You can see here in the name. If I select this, then this is going to be my list box 2, and if I click here, you see this is called the command button 1, right? So VBA has given these, assigned automatically, you know, the names to these controls once I'm going to drag them. If you don't know how to drag these things, then I'm again telling you, after watching this video, go back to my channel or website and watch some videos on the user form. You will understand, okay? So my job is to today tell you that when you run this, okay, then what exactly the program we are going to make here, so that whatever the items we have defined here, these basically, you can see here that I have given these ranges, you know, this one is the first range and this is called the second range. So these are the list boxes, they are picking up these values automatically. That's not the, I mean, something we are going to discuss here. We're simply going to discuss that how you can export them. Okay, so guys, now what we need to do is, I'm going to tell you about the for each collection loop. Wonderful. This is a wonderful loop. Everybody must know this loop. This is very helpful. Now if you don't know, again, just go to this Excel vbalover.com and let me just scroll it up. This is called the collection loops. Watch all these wonderful videos where I have tried to, you know, give the solution to you know, all those subscribers who writes me the email. So they are very useful videos again. So in this video now, what we are going to do is, we are going to say that for each control in all the user form controls, find out which one is the list box, and after you find the list box, just go there and export the items. You're getting me? So what will happen if I am going to make that code for each control in all the controls, then it will go first to the list box, then it will go to this list box, and then it will go to this list box, and then we will write the if condition there. Are you the list box type? Yes. Okay, then execute this line. Are you the list box? Yes, then execute the line. And then the next, are you the list box? No, actually I'm not, you know, because I'm a command box, right? As I just shown you, right? They are called the command button. So if you're not, then just leave, I'll leave you. and I'll go to the rest of the part. This is what we want to do. Now let's quickly run this loop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click here, okay, and this is what the code I have written, but I will delete it for you this time. Okay, let's just prepare it from the beginning. And now this is what we need to do. The moment the user clicks here, what we exactly want to do, we want to run this loop, collection loop. So first I will define them, let's say C or maybe CTR, let me name it as CTR, as control. We are going to give this a control class. Okay, then for each control, which means CTR, because CTR is a variable, but now this variable will automatically get all the properties in the methods which Microsoft has defined in the control class. So I'm going to say that you write like this, controls. Okay, now if you're wondering what is me, then me means that user form, the name of this form. We define it using, we also use the me word. Next, so now this loop, what it will do, it will loop in all the controls automatically, right? And what you have to do, let me show you. Let's get the message box. Okay, just to show you how it is going to work, let me quickly click here, run, and then click here. Look at this now. All right, there we go. That's the first ListBox 1. Next, that's the ListBox 2, and this is called the command button 1. I don't think so there is any other control which we have designed, so now it should go to the enter. There we go. So the macro is finished, but this is not what exactly we are looking forward to. But I just wanted to tell you that this loop is so powerful. This is going to loop in every control you create. Okay, for example, if I go back to the user form, this let me quickly insert one more control. Let's say we call it checkbox. Okay, there we go. Let me drag this here. Okay, that's the checkbox I have created. Now let me just run this again. Click here. There we go. ListBox 1, perfect. ListBox 2, perfect. Command button 1, perfect. Checkbox 1. Are you getting me, guys? Right? So this is the checkbox. I'm so sorry. I should have increased the size of it, but that's fine. I mean, we're not going to use it. But this loop is so powerful. I'm a big fan of these collection loops. They can do wonders. You go and watch all the videos which I was talking about under the collection loops category, for each worksheet in worksheets, for each workbook in workbook, for each chart in charts. I mean, you can do wonders, trust me. So now the point is, we are going to cover all the loops. Now how we are going to identify which one is the list box, because in the list box we have the items which we need to export. So we will comment this line. I don't need this line now. That was just to explain you. So this is the function we are going to use now. If type name, if the type name of the control contains list box, okay, then we should capture it. So this is how you write contains, like, use the star button. If you don't know this while character, then I must tell you that means it contains, when you say that, let's say we capture the names starting from A alphabet. So that means when you use the filter, let's say, so it captures it when you apply the filter and you say that I am looking for the names which begins with A, what will happen? You will get the names like, AJ, Alan, or maybe AB, whatsoever. We have the names Abhishek and all that. But if you say that contains A, then what will happen? A can be anywhere. So this is what we are going to say, that list box should be a part of it. I'm going to put it within the quotes. Let me first write it and then you will understand it. And I've used this star many times in my videos. If you're new to me, obviously, it may take little time to understand this line, but if you already subscribed to this channel and you have watched videos, then you know what I'm talking about, right? So we are saying that the list box should be a part of it. Now, putting the star in front of it and before it, what does that mean? After, you see, I have put the 2 stars. That means because we are not sure which list box we are talking about, because when I run this, you saw that in my this form, this is called the list box 1 and this is called the list box 2. So in the list box, one thing is sure, that is the word list box will definitely come. Okay, but 1 and 2, I mean it keeps on changing, but list box must be there. So that's what I'm saying, that alright, so let's just do one thing, let's just put the star before it and after it, which means that any word can contain before it, or any word can contain after it, but list box must be there. Okay, so 1 and 2 numbers, it doesn't matter. You have 10 list boxes, so list box 1, list box 2, list box 3, list box 4, list box 5, and so on. Every list box, object is going to be a part of it, because we are saying that contains. That's how you write. Okay, so what do you want to do then? That's the important thing. Again, I will say that done right now, just to explain you how the code is going to work, and if it is not, then do nothing. If you're not list box, then that's fine, just do nothing and go to the next thing, next control. So let us run this and let's see. Okay, so I'm going to click here, there we go. Okay, so first thing, message box done, because the first control is the list box 1, so I got the done. And then again list box 2. Let's see now this time if it is going to capture this message box. I don't think so, because the third control is the command button. There we go guys, it moved to the else part. Okay, so next and finish. So this is how we are going to now program the things. Now obviously we don't require this message box. What we want is that if you have a list box category type, then we want to export these items. So this is what we are going to write the code. Look at this line. So we are saying, if you're a type of list box, then instead of the message box, we will do this thing. I'm going to write here code, another loop, for index equals to 02, that list box, which is going to be that control, right? So how are you going to write that? So you're going to write here me dot active control. I think this will not work, so rather than doing this active control, I was thinking of something else, but let's just not talk that thing. I don't want to confuse you. So here we are going to do this. Now what is your control? Your control is CTR. Now it could be anything, it could be your name also, right? So because this is the important line, this CTR is the important line. I can also write my name, for example this, Ajay is not a VBA word, but I'm saying that Ajay is equals to control class, so automatically what will happen, Ajay will have all the properties of these controls, the methods. So here I'm saying that what you need to do is, this is the line. I'll tell you how it comes, right? So you see, let me just remove this. If I write me dot, which is my user form, you can also write user form 1, the name of the form. Look at this, that's the username, dot. Okay, list box, look at this line, list box 1 and list box 2, because I have created 2 list boxes, so they are coming here by default, right? So if I choose, let's say 1, this is the line list count. This will be responsible for running this loop till the level where you're not going to finish these items. So it is going to count all the items. When you click here, how many items we have? 1 2 3 4 5, right? So that means 5 times this loop has to run, and every time we should be able to extract these items one by one, and this is the line which I am writing here, will be responsible to run this loop these many times. In the next loop, when you have a control, different control gets activated, which is list box 2, how many times would you require to run this loop? 1 2 3 4, right? So that is going to we are automating this task. It is automatically going to check each and everything. So it means if you have created a list box where you have 50 items, automatically this will give you list count as 50. That's the beauty of this program, right? Because I know if I will make this for I equals to, let's say, how many times I need to run, 2 3 4 5, then definitely some of you would question me that I have a long list, I need to run this loop more than 5 times, right? So I'm just assuming, because it is definitely going to happen, so I'm telling you in advance that we are going to automate this for the we are not going to write any constant here that for I equals to 1 to 10. Instead of that, what we are going to do, we are going to run the loop like this: for j equals to, let's say, 02, Now instead of the user form 1 dot listbox 1 dot list count, what we are going to write, we are going to write our control which will be activated at that point in time, right? So that means the first time when the loop will run, Ajay will pick up the listbox 1. So that listbox 1 automatically, this listbox 1 would come, and I will just write list count. Press enter. Let me just comment this out so that it will be easy for you to understand the things. And now here what we are going to do, we are simply going to message box, and or maybe we'll simply go to the sheet called list, and we will export the item there. Now if you're wondering why I'm using 0, then let me tell you, because in the list box this is called the index, the position 0, like in arrays. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, right? So this is how we write this, the line I'm going to write here. I will write here what my sheet name is list. In the list sheet, go to the cells, and then I'm going to define the row number as a variable, and the column number also as a variable, dot value equals to what value we need. We need a value of this control box. And how we write this, let me show you. This is how we write it. This is your form, listbox1 dot list, and then you put the index 0 or 1 or 2 depends, right? This is the line. But because I can't use here listbox1 directly, because if I write listbox1, the next time when this loop will run, it will capture listbox2 and we will have the error. So that is why we are saying that, because when this loop will run, obviously Ajay keeps on changing. Every time you will have a different control, so that will, in other words, we can say that, Ajay is going to change every time. So that's why we are saying Ajay dot list, and then here what we need to do, if I write 0, then every time the 0 position will be captured, but that I do not want. So I will create here J, the same J which is possible to run the loop. This J keeps on changing, and I will have here different indexes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So let me just delete this. Okay, so now you have to define row as well. So I'm going to define it as a long, and then column number as again long. So we need to now, as per the requirement, we are told that we need to export the items, not below one another, but in the different columns. So how we are going to do that? We're going to increment the column here, +1, and to begin with, we have to tell that the column has to be 1, very important line. And similarly, we have to tell the row number also, that we are going to start with the 1. Okay, so this is your loop now. Let's just put some indenting here. Okay, so I guess we can start this code now. Let's see if we are able to do it. There we go. Let me click here. Variable not defined. Which variable we have left? Oh, for J. Okay, so let me declare the J as well. Let me give it a byte. Okay, there we go. All right, so now the first must be your user type called this list box. So let's see what we are going to get here. So, and before, wait a second, I'm thinking, because then it will be a good clarity, let's put the message box here. Okay, so that you should see on which control we are working. Just for your clarity, let me add this code. Okay, now you see the difference. Okay, so we are going to run this. Let's see. Let me click here, click, and there we go. Okay, so there we go. What is the first control? It's list box 1. Is it a list box? Of course it is a list box. Okay, so this should definitely come positive, which means we should go to the then. There we go. Now J equals to 0 to Ajay list dot count. Now see, what is your Ajay? Ajay is your list box 1. How many items we have got in there? This is what Ajay 1 actually includes. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if I put the watch on this, let's see what is the answer. It should give me 5. You can see here it says the value of Ajay dot 5 Ajay.listCount is 5, which means it has 5 indexes, 5 positions, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 basically. So what we need to do is now, because we don't want to run this loop 5 times. Why? Because if this starts with 0, then it will end, on the 4th position, obviously. So we will subtract -1 from it. So what will happen? This will run 4 times. So there we go. Now what is the first index? This of my list box 1. This is the 0. 0th element is it is definitely going to be printed here. So we can do one thing. We can select the sheet as well, so that you can see how it is working. So this is how we write, and there we go. Now look at this. Literature is already printed there. Now what is the next thing we want to do? On the column number 2 and on the row number 1, we would like to print the next value, and the J is now it's 1. So 1 means actually the second position starting from 0. So we have gotten the English also, right? Column number, again we are going to increment it, and there we go. I'm not changing the row number, remember, because my subscriber, my dear subscriber, lovely subscriber, has asked me that the data should be exported in the different columns, not one by one below one another, right? So this is done. Now once it is done, we got all the members, we got all the items published. Now what is the next thing? Obviously next thing is to go to the next control and check if that is also a list box. So this loop which we have written here, next, it goes to the next. Now look at this. We are on the different control, which is a list box 2. That's the new one. It is a list box. Yes, it is a list box. So this time, how many times it will run? Obviously the number of items we have. So there we go. Now important thing, I haven't incremented the row number, so row number still be 1. So what will happen in this case? It will go to the next column. What is the column number? You can see here it's the 6th column, right? Because column numbers, they keep getting incremented. So I get the here 2001, and then so on 2003, and let me quickly run this. Okay, so we go to the next. Let me minimize it. You can see here all the items are exported. Now what is the next control? It's the command button. So now when this next will run, okay, let me just maximize this so that you can pause this and you can paste this video, paste the code, obviously, just in case if you're looking forward to it, you want to use it in your office. So this time the command control is command button 1, which is not a list box. So if the program, if we have programmed everything nicely and correct, then this should not now execute this line. It should not go to the then part. Let's see. Let me press F8. There we go. There we go, guys. It skipped this then part, and now it is moved to the else part. So the code is finished. Next, and there we go. All set. So this way you can export all the items. Okay. So what we have done, actually, it's very simple. We have used this collection loop, which is called the for each control in forms.control. Okay. Next, here we checked that let's get pick all the controls one by one, and then let's check that what is their type. Okay, type name basically. If the type name is a list box, if it contains list box, then just target that then and there. Export the items. Now you never know how many items you have. I have only these 5 items. You may have 50 items. So that's why we made this flexible. We have used here for j equals to this line, which is Ajay.listCount -1. This will always take care of your list box items. Whatever items you want to put, you can put it there. It will automatically captures. It's going to capture, right? So this is how the code is done, and I hope this is 176 video. You must have liked it. Don't forget to click on the like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to support me in case if you are watching this video for the first time. And as I said, there are already 175 videos available on my website and on my YouTube channel. You can watch, you can choose either of the platform, YouTube or website, whatever it suits you. And next time I'll come up with some more interesting stuff, and this time I will come very soon, right? So thank you guys, thank you for your question, and stay fit and have a very happy learning. Bye bye.